Hello, Carlos. Hello, Susana. I'm so glad to see you in my class. And before we start, I just want to know more about you. Just answer the questions and say what is your English level. What do you think? I'm talking about like English level A1. It's like hello, like pre-prime, like basic. A1, A2 is something when short sentence. B1 is like something but not perfect grammar. B2 is middle, it's advanced level. And also C1 is like professors are talking C1. C2 is close to the native speaker. These levels. What do you think? What is your English level? How can you judge yourself, Susanna?
I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. My level, I think it's just intermediate. I don't know how to pronounce that word.
Intermediate.
Intermediate. Okay, I think that because I still have a lot of problems with conditionals, patterns verb, phrasal verb, prepositions, with a lot of things that though I know them and I read about them, when I try to speak, I forget everything, and also I have problems with my vocabulary. But I think that it's just practice.
Yes, practice. It's my lesson. What is it about? Just practicing or reading, listening, and speaking skills. It's what my lessons are about. Yes, I think you're around B1. I think it's your level. The teacher, I can judge you this way. Okay, Carlos, what's your English level?
My English level. Well, I think I have. I'm a beginner.
But no, it's not A1 like who is just beginning, who just start learning, or A2 for people who just speak just basic little phrases. What do you think, B1 or B2? What do you think?
Okay. Are you asking me why am I think I'm a beginner?
Okay. But I'm as an English teacher during my TEFL class, teach English as a second language. I can judge people's English level. I think you and Susanna both are around between B1 and B2. And I'm as a professor, as a teacher, I should be around C1 and close to C2. It's what I think about it. We have some other people who are not here yet. They are around A1. I have some students A2. It depends. So right now, I want you to read my class rules, remind ourselves the class rules, and then we will start to learn how to improve our English. Just some texts and some exercises. Okay, Susanna, read the rules again.
Ellen English class rules. 1. Remember, Zoom can lead only 40 minutes conference. If you come to class late, you will miss some activities. 2. All students must answer one by one. Do not interrupt each other. 3. Raise your hand when answering a question and wait for the teacher to call on you. 4. Teach one another. 5. Help one another.
Okay, I think you know the class rule very well. You don't need to read them in Spanish. And Mark knows them, who is not here for today, and no new people for today. So we just continue the activities. Today we will improve our English, our English level skills. We will think about our English level skills. First, I would like to show you the video, and then we will do some exercises from my textbook. Okay, first we need to see the video how we need to improve the English. The video is called And I think to improve English, if you need to improve your speaking skills, you need to speak with native speakers more. If you need to improve reading, you need to read more. As my assistant George was saying in the previous classes, that we need to read more. And as for if you want to improve some listening skills, listening audio books, and so on. It's my advice. If you concentrate just learning grammar, it will not help much. But if you will practice it, only this will help. If you try to do some skills watching the internet videos, you will improve your cooking skill. It will not help you before you try to cook. And here is the same with English. And here is some advice of the other English teacher who is native speaker. Listen this advice, please. What the other English teachers say about it. Okay. Can you hear it, Carlos, Susana?
Yes, I can hear it.
Yes.
Hello everyone, I am Niharika and welcome back to a new lesson. You know, I keep telling all my students to keep practicing English. But then how do you do that? Well, that's what I'm going to help you with some tips today that would improve your English language. So, some changes on daily basis would definitely help you to improve your English language. So let's have a look. The first tip that I have for you is changing your operating language on your phone and on your computer. Now this will surely help. If you end up
Okay, language is a computer. It's really help. I have my Facebook in English, my Instagram in English, and some points in English. When it was in Oxford, I had it in English. It's really helps me a lot to do it in English. Someday I will prove it to Spanish when I be better. But it's really help. It's very good advice. I know it by my own experience. It's very good advice.
changing your operating language on your phone.
What? Son?
No, okay. I have my cell phone, my computer, everything in English too, and I hope to be able to change them soon to German.
Wow, good idea. I have no idea to change it to Spanish someday, but I have an English. Once I had a broken telephone and they say, I will do it in Russian, sorry, give me back. I said, no, English is okay for me. I'm learning English. So people were surprised because not many people speak in Ukraine. And but I wish you to do it faster to change it to English. John, wonderful idea. Okay, next.
As well as on your computer, which most of us use it on daily basis, it will help you to learn a lot of new words. Now, if you are a beginner, it might be a little difficult for you, but then eventually you will end up having lots of words for your vocabulary. Now, of course, we also have options for Facebook and Twitter of using native language. But instead of using your native language, switch it to English. Trust me, using your Facebook and Twitter, which we all love, it will help you to learn new words. So go ahead, go under your settings and change the operating language on your phone and the computer. Tip that I have for you is to read and watch news in English.
Yes, reading and watching news in English will really help. When I didn't have internet yet, when I was around 16 years old, I was watching CNN and BBC News once per day for 1 hour before applying to the university. It's really helped me. First time I was watching just pictures. Second time I was understanding some words, and then I was understanding clearly what they're talking about. Now we don't have this channel, but I watch the news on YouTube. It's very
But there's a difference between read or watch them, because I've noticed that when you watch it, the vocabulary is more simple, and they try to everyone can understand, even people with natives with a lack of vocabulary. But when you read it, everything sounds more complex, and even there are newspapers harder than others. For example, the other day I searched a list of newspapers recommended to learn English, and for beginners they recommended the Daily Mail. And there were others intermediate, and for advanced learners, they recommended The Guardian.
Yeah, and yes, it depends from the journals, from the program, yes, the news. But what my teacher recommended me, she said, watch the film in Russian complete, in your first language, what I mean, for it in Spanish. Then try to watch it with subtitles in the top and write down the words. Then turn off the subtitles and watch it completely in English. And then you will not notice, was it in your native language or was it in English. It's what they recommend. And right now I'm trying to do it in Spanish. It's harder for me, but because I found one comedy in Spanish film, it was very hard for me. But I'm watching some stuff, so I understand it already. I'm in Spanish the same as you in English, I think, and I think it will help me to watch the news anyway.
Please, I think it's harder to try to watch things without subtitles.
Yes,
For example, when I want to watch something in English, I watch it without subtitles.
Wow.
But with German, I can't. I need the subtitles.
I understand you. I'm the same in Spanish as you in German, I think. Yeah. I understand you, my friend. Yes, okay. Let's see the search advice and we'll discuss it.
Now, staying informed about what's happening in the world is a great habit, but then do that in English. Rather than picking up your newspaper in your native language, start picking up English newspapers. Start watching BBC, CNN, and trust me, this would also build your listening skills. So, of course, watching news is updating yourself with current affairs. So it would also help you to build your vocabulary and talk about it with your friends. So isn't that an excellent idea? So the next time you are buying a newspaper or you are watching news, make sure you do that in English. The third tip that I have for you is to listen to English music.
But listen English music, I cannot and don't think that it will improve your English very much because sometimes they throw away articles, sometimes they change the word order, they just want to make a read wrong. They are completely different. Maybe it will improve your pronunciation, but not English grammar. It's very complicated for me. Music doesn't help very much about when I came to it doesn't. In Russian.
Ellen, something it's sounding weird. I don't know what.
What?
That I could barely hear you. Because something more is sounding. I don't know what.
Okay, can you hear me now, Carlos? Can you hear me?
Yes,
I can hear you, but you need to close your earphones and your microphone.
Yes. So can you repeat your comment about the third advice?
I think that music is not very helpful because you cannot improve your grammar. Sometimes musicians are writing their song, they can throw away articles from the sentence because the poem doesn't work out with this article. It's not, sometimes the song doesn't make a clear sense. Maybe it will improve your listening skills, but not your
And
English.
vocabulary.
And
You
vocabulary.
always learn vocabulary with it.
Yes, music. What do you think?
But now I even would say that you improve your listening skill neither because sometimes you speak too fast. Even in Spanish, sometimes I don't understand what the singer is singing, even if it is my native language.
Exactly. In opera scene, I cannot understand it even in my native Russian language, saying nothing about English or Ukrainian or Spanish. Even in my native language, opera singers, it's not possible to understand. You're right. Yes, okay, let's listen to the next advice.
Well, we all love dancing on English numbers, singing English numbers, but at times we struggle with lyrics. My favorite song is My Dream is to Fly. Well, but then at times, even I used to struggle. You know what I did? Well, I just Googled the lyrics. So if you enjoy English music, just download the lyrics or go to any of the websites and you will find the lyrics. So once you have the lyrics in front of you, listen to the music and sing along. In fact, this would also help you to get those words out of your mouth, because if you enjoy singing, automatically English words will pour out of your mouth. So enjoy all these English numbers and start listening to English music. Tip that I have for you is to read children books and also to watch children cartoons.
Oh yes, reading is improving a lot. Watching vocabulary in the dictionary, and cartoons also are very common. It's really helped me a lot. The coach was advising read more, read more. He's talking to me about it. He's talking to you about it. And reading really helps a lot. Also, in some points, it's grammar. I think reading and listening, they're improving the best. It's really, really good advice, I think. What about you guys?
Well, if you are beginning, it's a good resource to learn a new language, to learn
Yeah.
English in this case. No, and the other cases, the previous cases are different because, for example, in the first advice, when you have to learn, in the second advice, sorry, when you have to learn English through watching films and reading newspapers and English news, you may feel encouraged learning a new language because you're trying to read advanced level, and if you don't understand anything what you're reading, you may feel encouraged reading and learn a new language. So
Yeah.
that's a double-sided weapon. If you try to learn, if you try to read an advanced English, or if you try to read a newspaper or watch a movie in English.
Exactly.
For me, it's not recommended. It's not recommendable if you are a beginner. It's more recommendable when you are a beginner. Try to watch children's cartoon or children's book.
Exactly what she recommends. Okay, let's see the next two advice.
Now, don't be embarrassed about doing that. Don't think that, oh my God, I am not so small to read these books. Don't be embarrassed, just go ahead and do that. I'll tell you why. Well, the reason because the language that is used in these books is, of course, for children. So no big words are used. Instead, simple language is used which children can understand. So once you start reading these books, it would help you to understand the language well. And of course, there are lots of pictures in these books. Illustrations are given, so you would know what they are talking about or what is written about. Same applies when you are watching cartoon. Cartoons are usually repetitive, so same language and simple language is used on constant basis. So in this way, you would also build your vocabulary and also build your listening skills. And eventually, you will end up having so many new words for yourself. So go ahead, buy books or download it for you. There are lots of websites who offer these kids storybooks. So you can do that, or you can watch several children videos on YouTube. The fifth tip that I have for you is to maintain a book. Now, if you start maintaining a book, it would help you to write better. What you can do is every night spend 5 minutes writing about what you did throughout the day. So whatever events or whatever happens with you, you can just write up a small story. Also, you can add new phrases or new words that you have learned. Either when you're talking to people, you can pick up some words, understand the meaning, look at dictionaries, and make sure you put it in that book.
Yes, journal writing. The church is recommending me to write the journals. And what did you read? What did you learn today? It's also a good idea because it's like your kind of essay. I think it's very improving your writing skill. And writing 5 minutes a day will also help.
I haven't tried to do that, but at least I talk every day with foreign friends, and usually I tell them what I did during the day, or explain them case files that I'm reading.
Yeah, good idea. You can update your Facebook statuses in English, not in Spanish, or other stuff you can do. There are many ways to do that. I think it's very good advice as well. Okay, and the last advice, let's release.
And then whenever you want to refer, you can just quickly have a look, and this way you will build your English well. The sixth and the last tip that I have for you is to speak in English with someone.
Oh, it's what we are doing now. I'm just speaking. I really enjoy speaking. And I see, you guys also like to speak. I think you're on the right way here anyway. And Susanna is talking that you speak to your friends every day. It's a good choice. We are on the right way. Congratulations.
Well, what you can do is you can find a partner to practice the language. So be it a friend, be it a family member, or even your office colleague. Don't be embarrassed about it. Just go ahead and start practicing, because the more you practice, the language would come naturally to you.
Okay, if you will not practice, I will add, the language will not be natural, because if you don't use it, you cannot improve it. If you watch the video how the people do operation, and if you try to do it, you will not do it. And here is the same function is working. If you learn and don't use it, you couldn't use it if you just read the book. Like a guy in the military, captain in the military say, you can read the book how to fire the gun, but if the war happened and you will try to fire it, you will not fire it because you don't practice. And here is the same situation. Just practicing it. It will help you a lot. I think Susanna told me before that you are practicing on intervals every day. Is it correct understanding?
Yes, I'm with several people on intervals, and I gave them my Facebook or WhatsApp, and they write to me every day.
But change it to
Yeah,
speaking.
but I think that most of all we write to each other, but I rarely call them or speak to them on a video call, for example.
It's a good idea.
Uh,
Your course always
until some months ago, I talked a lot with who I had a long distance relationship, but I broke up with him. So lately, I barely talk to people in English.
Yeah, but try to. I'm also here for you. Let's we try talking in English when we are voice chat, not only on this lesson. Then it's only my advice here. Okay, let's finish the video and try to do some exercises.
So rather than being nervous or trying to struggle with words or trying to make sure that whether you're going correct or are you making any mistakes, a partner would definitely help you to correct that.
Yeah, correct and mistake. Just speak. If it's incorrect, it's okay. You cannot do everything perfect. It's also true. Just speak. If you worry that everything is correct, you will never speak. Mistakes are the best teachers. It's very good advice.
So eventually you'll be really confident and then you will start speaking so fluently. So go ahead, find someone with whom you can practice English language. So this brings me to the end of this lesson. Stop making excuses and find a little time for yourself to practice the English language, and trust me, you will do great. I promise.
Yes, I promise it too. And okay, let's do some exercises before we have time. For now, we have time. Yes, let's do some exercise, read the dialogue, read some stuff. How we can improve English is also the topic of this lesson called. So let's see what we can do. Okay, here is the dialogue. We will read how people practice English. And okay, Susanna read it for Anna, and Carlos will read for Daniel and for Alex. Mark didn't come, and Carlos will help to the guy from this class. Okay, Susanna, you will be Anna for today, for this dialogue. Sorry.
What I have to read the part of fun?
Yes, the part of the dialogue with Anna. What Anna says, read.
Okay. What are your study plans for this year, Dan?
Okay, Carlos, you will be reading for the Dan today.
Okay. I understand everyday English, but my vocabulary needs to expand so that I can understand a wide range of subjects and express more complex ideas. This year, I'm going to work at my vocabulary more. Besides, I'm going to attend a language course during my autumn or spring holidays.
Okay.
That sounds great. I'd like to be more fluent when I'm speaking too. I also want to be able to speak about the things in more detail. My teacher says I need to get better at using the appropriate language when I speak. What are your plans, Alex?
Okay, you read for Alex, Carlos.
I can understand general things when I read or listen, but I want to read texts that are relevant to my future career, and some of these contains quite specialized language. I'm going to learn and practice this.
We all have lots of things to do, don't we?
Yes, we are. So as we see, it's how people, most of the people have this issue. Not only Dan, Alex, and that's us, that's other people. It's what we need to working on our vocabulary, listening and reading skills. And so here is a text. We also need to how we need to improve reading skill, writing skills, listening skills, and speaking It's 4 English skills. Some people need to work on reading skills, some on writing skills, some on listening skills, and some on speaking skills. I really like listening and speaking. Reading is harder for most of people, and writing is also, for sure, in English, writing is very hard. Let's we read out loud each of the skills and try to comment on it, make a comments on it. Okay, Susanna, read about reading skills.
Who?
Susanna, you
Me?
can read.
Okay. Reading skills: a text, a context, a translation, to recognize familiar words, to go through something, to guess something, to understand the general meaning, to understand the details.
Yes, as we see, we shouldn't understand word by word. We should understand the sense. It's the main stuff what we need to understand. I think good advice. Okay, Carlos, read about writing skills, how we can improve it.
Writing skills. To keep a record of something, to make a note of something, accurately, appropriate, to be relevant to something, in detail, a wide range of subjects, to express complex ideas, to expand vocabulary, to make mistakes.
Yes, it's what we need to write. Just write the idea, and the teachers they recommend not to pay attention if the spelling mistake is not very awful. But if they are very common all the time, only in this case, just write the main idea or whatever. So it's what they are recommending for writing the essay. Okay, how we can improve listening skills, Susanna? Read it, please.
Listening skills: a conversation specialized language, to ask someone to repeat words of or phrases, to explain something, pronunciation variants of a language, a dialect, to identify a speaker, an opportunity to check if you can understand the native speaker's speech.
Yes, native speaker speech. Different people have different dialects. British have one dialect. American have the other dialect. In Africa, English-speaking countries, it's third dialects. But we still can understand each other. In Spanish, it's more common. Spain have one dialect. Chile have the other dialect. Argentina have the other dialect. All Spanish-speaking countries have France in. They have completely different dialects. Even in Chile and Mexico, very, very different Spanish. And in English we have similar stuff. In Russian it's not very common dialects. For instance, in Moscow we have one dialect. In Petersburg in Russian we have. Everywhere we have different dialects about English, and we need to understand each other. It's here advice. Okay, here we can improve our vocabulary. Read the words one by one. We have 5 minutes, then we enter again and read some text. And okay, 5 minutes, we will explain this vocabulary, please. Okay, Sana, read the first word.
To enroll on a language course.
What does it mean?
Course. What does it mean? I just think that join to a class, I don't know, pay English class.
Or start learning English just. It can mean also like that. Start participate course or yes, join, start learning English. Okay, Carla, the second word. Read the second phrase.
English self-study software.
Okay, what does it mean?
You maybe download a software that helps you to study English, like Duolingo or something like that.
Something what helps you more in learning English. For somebody it helps to practice, to somebody helps reading, to somebody helps learning grammar. It depends on the people. It's what it means. Okay, Susanna, the next word.
Language learning books.
Okay, yes, it's language learning book for learning language. I would tell you. Okay, what else?
Online learning.
Online learning, yes, it's a lot of websites, watching YouTube.
What are we doing?
Yes, what we are doing for sure. Okay, Carlos, the next words.
To travel abroad.
It's what I'm going to do to travel to.
That's very principle. You can do it if you have the money, of course.
Yes, of course. I needed 2 years to save my money for my ticket to Chile. Yes, it's correct. Yes, okay, Susana.
To make up one's mind.
Okay, to make up.
I don't know what does that mean.
I think it means like to memorize and to use your mind, to make up your mind. Once it's somebody, it's like to make up your mind. It's to memorize it, to use your memory. Okay, Carlos.
To advance in something, maybe in your reading or your speaking, but you
To
need
improve something. Yes.
to improve step by step.
Okay, that one. Next one, Susana.
Tuition. And I don't know neither.
Payment, like tuition. When I studied in US,
But
I paid for my education. Every class you need to pay its tuition.
I searched and it seems that it's classes too.
Yeah, classes. Okay, next one.
Valuable practice.
Okay, it's like practice all the skills what we were reading before. The next one.
Old-fashioned.
Okay, what does it mean?
Something old, ancient.
Yeah.
Usually they use the adjective to describe words that nobody uses nowadays.
Something else, some history of the language, something in this way as well. Okay, the next task, and we will re-enter to the, because the time is about to over. Okay, the next one, Carlos, read the next phrase.
To be geared to someone's specific needs and interests.
It's what teachers. Yes, need teachers for that, because different people have different studying skills, different interests. It's not possible to do it if you have 30 people in the class, but it's still possible to do different homework, to do some different methods for in some points. It's what we need to use when we are learning ourselves more. Okay, the next one, question, Susana.
To suck something up. I don't know what does that mean. Like it says in the dictionary absorber, but they that mean about knowledge.
Yeah, to improve knowledge. To improve your knowledge, to make it higher. Yeah, and
okay.
enter again, please, when it will be over, and read the next phrase. For now, I think we could explain for 1 minute.
To gain somebody's confidence.
Somebody's
confidence, yes. It means to make somebody sure, to like sure they can do, just not to make it down, to encourage student to make knowledge better. Okay, so thank you. It's good that you have to be back. And okay, the last word, let's explain. Carlos. What?
To get bad in something.
Yeah, what does it mean?
To survive in something.
What does it mean?
To get by is, for me, I think it's to survive.
Yeah, good. What, Susana, what do you think?
With what?
To get by something.
Okay, by there's some I heard that other by
I said to survive.
Yeah, maybe to work in something. To work on something can overcome. To improve your spelling, to improving stuff, to work on something, I think.
I think that it sounds similar to
Manage.
survive or manage.
Manage, yes. We manage studying in our case, yeah.
More like manage than improve.
Okay, here is the textbook, and we will do some exercise, true or false, and other stuffs. Okay, paragraph by paragraph. We will not read it as a dialogue, and we will read it by paragraph. Okay, Susanna, you can start the first paragraph. Way to learn English, and then Carlos will do the other paragraph. We will not do it by names, but we will do it by paragraphs. Okay, Susanna, start reading.
Ways to learn English, making the decision to learn a language and actually going to about it can be two very different things. Below is what people think about different ways of learning English. Remember, you don't have to stick to just one. Choosing a combination of learning methods can often make it easier to fit the language learning into your daily routine.
Okay, what do you think about it? Just explain in your words what you have read. What did you understand from here?
There is a recommendation that there are two different ways to learn English.
Okay, Carlos, and you can continue reading what Anna say.
This year, I've made up my mind to enroll on a language course. In my opinion, learning a language is a social environment like this opens me up to meeting new people. It encourages me to practice my skills and it gives me motivation to come back the following week. With a couple of hours tuition per week, I cannot expect to advance too far without doing some homework, though. I do a few hours studying on my own too.
Yeah, what she was doing, explaining your own words.
It's taking her a lot of time to learn a new language, and it's been difficult for her to learn it as well.
Okay, Susanna, read for Steve, please.
I'm a very active busy person, so it's difficult for me to find the time for regular classes. That's why I've chosen a good English self-study software. These are made of a few CDs and accompanying books. I can say that they have become a popular way to kickstart language learning or boost it in between the school terms. These provide valuable listening and comprehension practice.
Okay, conversation practice. Okay, what Steve was saying, explaining your own words, Susanna.
He doesn't have time to go to regular classes, so he bought this software.
Yeah, using his own message.
Maybe it don't have the same, no sé cómo decir, ventajas. It doesn't have the same advantages that what mentioned Carlos, but he said that it helps his listening and comprehension practice.
Exactly, yeah. Okay, Carlos, you can read for Tom.
I study English with language learner books containing texts, grammar models, vocabulary lists, and practice exercises. These are probably old-fashioned but good enough to practice reading and writing skills, to get a base in essential grammar and vocabulary, but you'll definitely need extra listening and speaking practice.
Okay, comment it please. What Tom is recommending us here?
It's a good recommendation. You need to read books a lot to practice your skills in learning, even though it's an old-fashioned book, or even though you find some old-fashioned vocabulary, you need to read them.
Yes, good advice. The same as the girl was recommending watching cartoons and children book, but his old-fashioned books he's recommending. Also good advice. Okay, what then Daniel say? Susanna, read what Daniel recommend us.
Online learning is totally flexible and geared no sé cómo se lee eso, to learners' own specific needs and interests. You have your own private tutor. Lessons can take place any time of day for as little or as long as you want. All you need is a computer, headset, and webcam. While learning online results are achieved fast, particularly in listening and speaking. As such, it suits people who are short of time.
Okay, what can you say about this advice?
What can my opinion?
Yes, what's your opinion? Do you agree with Daniel?
I think that he is right, that you can improve faster your language skills, hiring an online teacher than going to classes in a group or just reading a book, because this teacher will only teach you. So what he will teach will be according to your needs and issues.
Okay. Okay, good, yes.
Also, when you pay for classes, usually they don't put a native speaker, but when you hire online teacher, you can choose a native speaker, and they are, and in general, the online teachers are cheaper.
Okay, tutors. Yes, I'm also using online tutor for my Spanish classes. Once per week, I have a Spanish class. It's good advice. I also agree with it. Okay, and Carla, the last one. Read what Jane say about it.
In my opinion, learning a language in the country where it's spoken is the best way to get results and have the most fun while you are at it. When you walk out of class, the lesson is only just beginning, surrounded by the sights and sounds of your chosen language of culture. You can't help but soak it all up and practice what you've learned with everyone from the tour wide the bus driver. And most importantly, you will be inspired and gain confidence by being understood for the first time in the real life situation, by realizing that you have the ability to get by in a foreign environment.
Okay, what do you think about Jane's advice? Jane's opinion. Do you agree with her or not?
Yes, I agree, but you need to speak to someone else, because if you don't feel confidence to speak to someone else abroad, and you may not gain, you may not learn as much as you want because you haven't spoken to someone else and you don't feel
I
confident.
agree with it. I agree with you. You will not speak, we will learn nothing for sure. Okay, let's do an exercise. And Susanna, you can start. Read it and tell me, is it the first statement true or false?
Yeah. What are the sources? Tom has decided to learn English with the help of a computer.
Is it true or false?
Who was Tom? Um,
I don't remember any.
no, that was Steve. False.
Okay, read it. But what?
Tom was who was using the books. So no.
Okay, yeah,
False.
because here we don't have a check button. We just need to prove that our answer is correct. Okay, Carlos, the second one.
Stephen have chosen a method of learning English to suit his busy and active life.
Okay, very Steve. Okay, very Steve. Let's see. Okay, read. Does it say it's true? Read this answer loudly.
I'm very active and busy person, so it's
Okay,
difficult
yeah.
for me.
Okay,
So-
yes, it's proving. Okay, Susanna, what about Anna? Read the statement, please.
Anna would like to learn English in a group of people. Can you show me?
Okay, for sure, I will show you. It's not a test, okay, just practice, okay? Look.
Yes.
Okay,
It's true.
read it, shows it is true. We don't have a check button.
I made up my mind to enroll on a language course.
Yeah.
Or eso. Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Con un curso de Nosuma ya que es un grupo.
Course is a group. Yes, group of people. Course is a group of people. Okay, what about Daniel, Carlos?
Dan finds his motivation in practicing a foreign languages at every step.
Okay, where is Dan? Okay, here is Dan. Okay. Do you think is the statement true or false? Just read the answer.
No, that's false.
Why?
Because all you need is a computer. Headset and webcam.
Yes, Dan is his computer, but not Tom is false. Yes,
No.
they confuse the guys here. Okay, number 5, Susanna.
Tom enjoys working with printer resources. What's Tom?
Okay, where is Tom? Okay, Tom.
Printer resources that would mean books or not?
Yes, book.
Okay. That can be considered books. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Then it's true.
True. Okay. True, false are usually tricky questions anyway, but here it's okay. Complete the sentence given below the words from okay, using the words from vocabulary, try to complete the sentence.
But why if we go to the next exercise? Because it would be a lot of work, search every word using the...
No, words are here. Words are here. It's not so bad. It's not all the words. Words are here. Okay, read the first. Let's try, and if it will not work very much, we will turn to the next exercise. Next exercise is too easy for us. Okay, try to read the first. Okay, so you can. Okay, Tom, you are reading for Tom. Okay, Carlos, you can start.
The school's first priority is to, I don't know.
The school's first priority is to
enroll a language course. Let me read the whole sentence. Parents and their child's level knowledge.
Is okay. We will try to do two of these sentences. It's a little bit hard, I agree. Let's
To read
try.
books.
Okay.
Language reading books.
Reading books. Okay. Maybe it can make sense. It's two. It's a verb should be. No, language book, no. The school first is two.
For me, it's to read books, but I'm not sure. You need to use those phrases. Do you need
Yes,
to use phrases?
yes, you need to use a phrase from here. Use the phrase from here. Try to.
I think that we should skip this
Yeah,
exercise.
maybe. Because
Yeah,
if you remember all the stuff, it's very hard
I
to
know.
think about
I
them.
agree. I agree.
Okay, yes, okay, let's try the next exercise. Complete the sentences with the gerund. I think it's easy anyway, just reading skills you will improve. Learning to be learning, I think, yes. It's too easy for us. Let's do it faster. Okay, Carlos, start then.
Learning a foreign language also opens everybody up to learning about another culture. To learn about another culture.
To learn, you creo que sería.
Yes,
To
to
learn about another country.
Learning it to learn.
yes,
Learning to learn. Learning is gerund should be here, but here should be future because to is here. Okay, the next one. Susanna.
You want to feel comfortable with a foreign country without speaking a foreign language?
So speaking a foreign language, you cannot. Okay, for sure. If I moved to Chile, I couldn't live if I didn't speak Spanish. For sure. Okay, Carlos.
You can improve your listening skills by watching films in a foreign language.
Yes, it's true, and it's also correct. Okay, Susanna.
You can hardly advance in learning a language without doing regular homeworks and correcting your mistakes.
Okay, Carlos, the next one.
After visiting Ireland, she has made up her mind to improve her writing skills by sending emails to all her new friends.
It's what we like to do. Okay, number 6, Susanna.
We look forward to meet our friends from a partner school.
Meeting in this case.
Or to meeting?
Yes.
To meet. To is here, to meet. We look forward to meet our friends. The second should be infinitive, the second sentence. To meet, yes, was correct. Okay, let's just speak and improve after this exercises. It's better reading and text speaking is a very good idea. Answer this question just telling about you by answering. You try to use a gerund. Why is language learning important for you, Susanna? Why learning language is important for you?
Because it allows me to meet new people and know more about the new cultures. Also, it is really useful for my work. Nowadays, every law firm request a high level of English that I don't have. And I can hardly will find a good job with a good salary if I don't improve my skills.
Yes, makes sense. Okay, Carlos, how can you answer this question?
Because of the same reason, you can have a good job, or maybe you could have more opportunities in the work environment, and because nowadays all people want to make a master degree, but there are a few of them who want to learn a new languages, and there is another opportunity for you to get a job and not them. You may
Yeah.
have a good advantage against the other ones.
Makes sense. Yes, you're right, guys. And the second question.
How much time a day do you spend learning English?
Yes. How much time do you spend drinking?
An hour and a half, maybe after work.
Okay, what about you, Susanna? How many time do you spend for learning English?
I don't know because it's like an habit. Hábito, no sé cómo se pronuncia eso.
Habit.
Habit. Yeah. Thanks. Well, I don't know because it's an habit and that I'm always searching words in the dictionary and as I always talk with friends from Interpals on WhatsApp and Facebook. Sometimes I want to say some things and I have to search in the dictionary. Also, I always read news in English because I'm following several newspapers on Facebook, English. Probably a lot of hours, but it isn't like practicing or working. I just make it an habit.
Somebody told me once that that person advised me not to use an English-Spanish dictionary. He told me to use an English-English dictionary rather than...
Yes, sometimes I use the dictionary of Cambridge and Urban Dictionary, but I also need to use a lot of time the word reference or link because I don't use a dictionary to translate their words because I completely understand what my friends are telling me. The problem is when I want to express complex or very specific ideas and I don't have the vocabulary in English. In those cases, I'm forced to use a dictionary Spanish to English.
Yes, true. I was advised by my teacher. He was living in England. He was a military translator. His English is very well. And he also advised me to use English dictionary because it's written by the native speakers. They know more about their language. And translation usually not exact. You're right, Carlos. And yes, but if you're a beginner in the language, for sure, Susanna, you're right, because only this way you can improve English. It depends from the chance. It's what I think. Okay.
I think that it depends on the vocabulary. For example, if I'm explaining someone a type of crime or case file, and probably even they don't know this kind of vocabulary, and I don't have where get these words. For example, I don't know. If I wouldn't use a dictionary, I wouldn't know who to say incautación o sitio del suceso o no sé, parricidio, maltrato infantil, no sé, cosas así. Es difícil comentar cosas así en inglés, porque mis amigos me van a explicar súper fácil lo que ellos están pensando, pero yo, ¿cómo les voy a explicar eso?
Inglés, porfa, porque Practicaremos nuestro inglés hablando. Nosotros ustedes necesitan hablar inglés. Okay. How often do you have chance to practice English speaking skills with a native speaker?
I try to speak to someone twice a week, but if it's possible, I try to speak even more.
Do you speak with native English speakers or just somebody like me who is in a different country?
Yes, someone like you that are from different countries.
Unfortunately,
there are some people from United States that doesn't have the time to speak to me because we have the same schedule. And
either.
when I wake up and I have to work, or maybe they are busy, or they have to work, or they don't have the time. I don't know.
Yes, mostly busy people. Yes. As for me, usually Americans, people who was born in America, but their parents from Mexico, like Mexican American. I have bilingual people who have two native English, Spanish and English, and practicing Spanish and English with them. For me, usually it happens this way. I have around 3 friends like that. One girl from Panama, but she was born and live in US. One and a few guys from Mexico, but they are living in US. From with them, I usually practice with bilingual people. What about you, Susanna?
Although I talk to several people in English, they are not everyone native speakers. Every day I am talking English with 3 or 4 people, but just 2 are from England, and they are learning Spanish, so they try to talk to me in Spanish. I correct them.
Wow, good for you.
Sometimes they write me in English.
Wow.
And they correct me.
Okay, introduce me to people from England. I really want to meet someone from England to also. I
don't recommend you that. They are not the kind of people that you would like to talk.
Okay, thanks for honesty anyway. Yeah.
They are really sick.
Oh, I'm sorry.
They are my friends, but they are sick.
It happens. It happens, unfortunately. For that reason, I took my psychology class to improve my psychology, because a lot of crazy people online. I agree with you.
Which ones?
Not unlike people whom I meet on interpersonal talking. Unfortunately, it happened. It happened a lot. I took psychology class for that reason.
Yes, because we are girls. Usually, we're the guys from Asia mostly, offer us weird things, or as soon as we reply hi, they start to offer talk on Skype, just because they want to show their parts, or want to
really.
Yes, talk about the sex.
Okay. The class is recording anyway.
It's very disgusting. It's very disgusting.
It's very disgusting, unfortunately. From Arabic countries, for me, it happened. Unfortunately, a lot of crazy people online, and I'm struggling with it and trying my best not to be the victim of it. Okay, what about other English? What is the most difficult for you in English? What is more difficult and what is the most easy for you in English? As for me, spelling is very difficult because it's written one stuff and spelled the other stuff. For me, spelling is the most difficult from the childhood, and the most easy for me in English, I don't know, maybe some vocabulary learning, maybe. With my level of skills, it's very hard to say what is more easy for me, but I can bravely say the spelling is the most difficult. But what about you? What is the most difficult and what is the most easy stuff for you in English? What about Susanna?
For me, the easiest thing is reading, probably, although when I try to read books, after I use other vocabulary, it become complex. And the most difficult part is writing.
As well.
Writing because I try to speak at least in Spanish in a formal way. So but in English I just can write very simple so far, and I hate it. And I still trying to use connectors, or I have problems with the punctuation. I don't know. La puntuación, ¿cómo se dice?
Punctuation, yes.
Punctuation.
In
Yes,
order
I still have problems with punctuation and connectors.
Okay, Carlos, what about you?
For me, the most difficult thing in English is remembering vocabulary by when I speak to someone else, because I always forget the vocabularies that I previously learned a few days earlier.
Yeah, vocabulary, yes. I have the same issue with Spanish because when you know English as a second language and you have your third language seems to be not so good as your second language. I have this issue in Spanish because vocabulary words are shorter in Spanish than in English, and I confuse some vocabulary. I have this issue with Spanish. I understand what you mean saying that. Anyway, learning is not easy, but practice makes perfect. It's a very good phrase to say. Okay, and here they are asking about writing activity, but we can do it orally by speaking. Okay, read exercise 12, Carlos.
Write down as many classroom activities as you can in 3 minutes. Then decide which of these activities you would most like to do. You would least like to do. This is the most difficult. This is the least stressful. Takes much preparation time. Aims at developing reading, listening, writing, speaking skills.
Okay, yes, but we cannot write here. It's not a regular classroom. We just say about it. What do you like mostly? Which of the classroom activity you like the most? And which classroom activity is most stressful for you? What can you say about it, Susanna?
How activities of this class?
No, in general. What in the next class? What activity would you like to have in this class? Yes.
Yeah. What I would most like to do? I have suggested several things, so I don't know. Lista. ¿Qué se refiere con you would least like to do? ¿Lo que menos?
Yeah, sí. ¿Cuál te gusta hacer en las clases? ¿Cuánto no te gusta? En esta clase,
anything bothers me, so I don't have problems, and I don't have more things to suggest. The most difficult, I haven't find any class difficult. The least stressful.
Maybe it was too easy for you, some activities, and you want some other activities. Any offer would be good.
Maybe. No, I don't know. I haven't had problems with any class. At least understanding you, and I wouldn't criticize anything, and I even feel relaxing.
Good practice.
These
Sticky practice.
these classes are relaxing for me, so I
Yeah.
like learning languages.
Wow. I'm happy that I'm useful for you. My classes are useful for you. Carlos, what about you? What is more stressful activities? What is more easy? What is more difficult? In the next classes, which activity you prefer to see? What can you say about it?
The next class, Ellen will torture me because I say that.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, for me, the most difficult, it's not stressful, but for me, the most difficult is, for example, when we watch the video about the Martin Luther King history, and then you have to fill in the blanks and in a sentence, and I couldn't remember almost anything about the
Ye-
history.
Yes, but that doesn't mean that your English is bad, or that you didn't understand. The problem of that video, or at least for me, was that it had a lot of facts, and
Yes.
we didn't memorize them, thinking that we wouldn't be asked for them, but then there were a lot of questions asking dates, very exact dates.
Yes,
Yes,
I
it's very
agree.
hard to memorize. It's not because of English. Maybe if you watch it in your native language, could be the same issue. Memorize history classes was very hard for me because I couldn't memorize all the dates, all the activities. It's very hard. I agree. It's not because your English bad. Don't worry. Your English is very good. You're both, I think, around B1 level. Just improve your English. Visit my classes. You will have a good, relaxing English practice skill, English practice, and you improve your English speaking and listening skills. And in some points, I will help you to improve some grammar skills. I hope you will enjoy. What did you say about next class? I missed a little bit. Susanna, what did you say about next class?
I don't know, because we have a lot of classes about everything.
Maybe. Okay, that's
I
what
don't
you
have
mean.
more ideas. Maybe about the use of connectors.
Maybe
I
I will
think
see. I will see some materials and
the
prepare interesting class about
let's
it.
see,
Okay.
advanced connectors.
Maybe a connector. Okay, I will try to see. Thanks for coming. Hope you enjoy this class. Very long class, but very lot of practice, I think. Okay, hope see you next week. Okay.
Okay. I
Okay,
hope so too.
see you. Have a good weekend.
Okay, you too.
Thank you. Have a nice weekend too.
Hugs.
Bye.
Thanks for the class.
Thank you too. Thanks for coming. Okay. Bye.